Hi and welcome to this week's episode of the Entrepreneurship and Human Behaviour videocast. And this week we're talking about how saying no to your customers will increase your business profit. And this videocast is aimed at people with what we'd consider the overgiver or the people pleaser profile. So Gab, what are some of the strengths of a business owner with the people pleaser profile?
Yeah, one of the main strengths of the person with the people pleaser profile, Perry, is that they're really a customer orientated person. And by being a customer orientated person, they're really warm, they're really friendly, and they want to really do the best by their customers. And what that means is that the customers also really trust them, because they know that they have their best interests at heart. So it's an incredibly beautiful and customer-orientated style for a business owner.
Yeah, the business owner with a strong people pleaser profile, as Gab just said, that they're really authentic. They really want to help and serve others. Now, just quickly, what are some of the downsides of someone with a strong people pleaser profile? Meaning, like when they start to move into what we call dysfunctional territory, how are the people pleaser profile start to undermine their ability to build a successful business?
There's two different ways. The first is that they don't like any conflict. So they'll seek to obviously please everybody in their external environment. They don't want to upset anybody. One of the other major dysfunctions of the people pleaser is that they find it really, really hard to set boundaries. They find it really hard to say no. They find it really hard to set boundaries on their time and their space because they want to please everyone and they want to keep everybody happy.
People with a strong people pleaser element are all about others typically. And when others are happy, they feel happy. And it's important to point out the opposite of that. So some business owners don't have a strong people pleaser profile and they'll all be about them. So they tend to be more about me, what I get, where the people pleaser is more about what they give and whether other people are happy or not. Now, both of those aspects have their strength, by the way, and both of those aspects have their dysfunction. Gab, from your perspective, how does saying no to customers help create a more profitable business?
Yeah, I thought we'd go through a few points today, Perry. The first one is that by saying no to your customers that aren't a good fit, you're inherently going to grow your business. And there's a few reasons for that. I just want anybody that's listening, I wanted them to think for a moment, if they're a business owner, about a customer that they've had that, really gives them a headache. They're always on their back. They're constantly emailing them and they want more, or they're just complaining, or whatever it is. That customer is inherently energy draining and takes all the joy out of your business. So, going to answer that email or answer that phone when you've got customers on the other end that aren't a good fit really just takes the life out of business and takes the joy out of business. Whereas if you only choose customers that are a right fit for you, you're going to increase the joy and the abundance around you in terms of enjoying the projects that you're doing. And not only that, there's two other really tangible benefits. By only saying yes to customers that are a good fit and no to customers that aren't, you actually start to create a niche and a tribe within your business. And that's really powerful. If you can create a niche and a tribe within your business, that's going to create great word of mouth, great reputation. Whereas the flip side of that, and being more generalist and saying yes to customers that aren't a good fit, will actually create a bad reputation because they don't take any responsibility for being a bad customer.
What I often see when I'm working with clients that have strong people-pleasing aspects, it's that they feel really guilty about saying no to those clients that cause them a lot of trouble and waste their time, as you've quite rightly pointed out. And therefore they spend all this extra time and energy and also get whacked emotionally trying to please difficult clients, where if they did what you've just said and were able to move them on and say no to them for those that work for them, those that fit their best customer profile, they're going to have more energy, more time. But not only that, it's very self-directed. It starts to move back into boundary setting almost, and almost a selfishness. But when we talk about selfishness, we're talking about a functional selfishness, which goes, okay, I've got these skills, or I offer this service, or I offer this product, and it's a perfect fit for these people, and these people can afford it, and they're going to be my perfect client. The moment that you start moving in that direction, and you're very clear about that, that's very self-directed. I know by serving that client base, that type of person, I'm getting my needs met. I'm getting my dreams met. Where, coming back to the saying, no, often the people pleasers will actually disconnect from what's really important to them, for what they really want from business. And that's why they do that, because what they're trying to do is please everyone, and to really own what they really want means they're going to say no to people. So absolutely, it's a problem when you're saying yes to everybody.
You also just mentioned there about boundaries, Perry, with the people pleaser. And the second way that you're able to grow your business by saying no to your customer is saying no to requests that are outside your boundaries. So we both know that people with a people pleaser personality profile will actually go into business and they won't be able to say no to the overtime. They won't be able to say no to client requests that are outside of what they want to do. They'll feel like they're being difficult. They feel like they should be saying yes, and should's, in my vocabulary, a very nasty word. Any kind of customer that, can pick up energetically that you can't set boundaries, they're going to take advantage of you. So you could, underneath, wanting to say yes, you could feel resentful that you're doing requests outside of your boundaries, and you'll feel like, that people are essentially taking advantage of you. So by saying no to requests outside of your boundaries, you're actually going to increase your business and increase the joy in your business, because you'll be commanding more respect off of your customers. They'll know that you have boundaries. You can only do a certain set of tasks within a certain time period. So they're going to respect you, and you're going to have better work-life balance because you're not doing things outside of what you want to be doing.
That thing that you just mentioned about people pleasers saying yes, it's not just to their customers, they'll be saying yes to everybody. And and the problems that causes in business is incredible, because all of a sudden their time's gone, as you quite rightly pointed out. And their time for concentrating on the things that need to be concentrated on to build a successful business is taken up by staff that are manipulating them, customers that are manipulating them, because you said something really important. If you are a people pleaser, people will take advantage of you because you're considered the weak one. Now, they may not be thinking that consciously, but unconsciously they know that all they need to do is manipulate your guilt, because people pleasers have a lot of guilt when they feel like they're not pleasing someone. So customers quickly work that out, and they can work out that they can start to muck around with your boundaries. So what would some of those boundaries be, as an example? Well, they'll try for discounts. They'll try to change the payment terms. If you're a service provider, they'll try to get you to do more than your scope. As an example, if you're a coach, they'll try and get you to stay on for an hour and a half instead of an hour coaching appointment.
Just the last way that you're able to grow your business is by saying no to tasks that aren't going to help you meet your goals. So one of the terminologies that we use here is the highest dollar productive zone. And the highest dollar productive zone is basically what work or what tasks can you do in your business that are going to make you the most money. Now, if you can imagine for a moment that a people-pleasing business owner is out there in their business and they're saying yes to customers that aren't a good fit, they're saying yes to requests outside their boundaries, well, they're going to say yes to doing things within their business, whether that's with customers or staff or other people that aren't going to make them the most money, because they feel like they need to. They feel like they need to be doing more, rather than just doing the tasks that are going to make them the most money, so that they're in their highest dollar productive zone. So as a people-pleasing business owner, it's really, really important to say no to tasks that aren't going to meet your goals. So number one, you're going to have to define your goals first as a business owner. And then you're going to have to say no to some task, which is obviously inherently really hard for a people pleaser because they think they should be doing more. And that's going to allow a people-pleasing business owner to be in that highest dollar productive zone so that they can grow their business to the next level and they can make a lot more profit than they are currently.
Yeah, quick case study. I worked with a business owner a little while ago and their cash flow was down. So I asked my first question, which was, how much time every week do you spend marketing? And because this person had a business where they had a team that provided the service, so they were responsible for marketing with a marketing assistant. And when I looked at it, when we got back, it was like 3 hours. So I knew that I could improve their cash flow really quickly by increasing the number of hours that person spent marketing, right? Coming back to what you just said about highest dollar productive zone. So my aim was 50% of their time had to be spent marketing. Again, after a few weeks, still 4 or 5 hours. So I asked them to write down a list of where their time went. And oh my God, you should have seen how much the people pleaser undermined effective business building and profit making, because this particular business owner just spent all their time talking and chatting to people because they felt guilty for leaving conversations. They were manipulated by their staff to do things that were unimportant. It was just amazing. The people pleaser part of them was stealing many hours a week from their highest dollar productive zones. Wow. Any hints and tips to finish off with? I've got a couple, but you may.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, Perry, that if people are watching this video cast and they are people pleaser business owners, then chances are that most of the people pleasing clients that I've come across know that they're not able to say no. Like, it's been a lifelong epidemic that they're not able to say no, not only to their customers, but, you know, to the family and friends in their life, staff, and all other types of people that have walked, you know, across their path. So a people pleasing business owner might come to this video cast today and be, you know, yeah, I know all of that. Like, it's something I know within myself. I'm aware that I'm not able to say no. Like, you're kind of not telling me anything new, apart from an awareness now of yourself that you actually have this part that can be transformed into something different. So it's really, really important to do this kind of work, because yes, you know that you've done this forever in your life, but now you need to do something about it. And us at Martin, we've got all the skills, you know, we've got our 5-minute business DNA indicator that you can jump on 5 minutes and it gives you a list of your strengths and weaknesses. You can check out our videos and blogs and they show you, and all the skills that we've got for you, how to change that pattern. So it doesn't need to be a sabotage and a limitation in your business anymore, because it gets so frustrating sometimes when you're in the dysfunctional aspect of the people pleaser.
And most importantly, work with a coach. We've all worked through this ourselves, through the people pleaser aspect of our own personalities. We're adept at working with it. So it's really hard to change when you try and do these things on your own. But when you're working with people that understand these patterns deeply, know how to help you work with the patterns to transform the patterns, it just makes things a lot easier. So if you go to our website at martininternational.com, you'll see there's a free coach chat. So you can have a chat to the coaches, see if they can help you. But it really helps when you work with someone that knows this territory. And just finally, you know, we do a lot of work with strategy, helping clients build businesses that run on their own. But without identifying and working with your sabotage patterns, it doesn't matter how much good technical or strategic advice you get, you'll just keep playing out those patterns again and again and again until you are willing to do something about them.
Yes.
Thanks, Gab. Thanks, everybody. And we look forward to the next video cast.